When I got promoted from the team, I thought I had finally figured it out, but I hadn't. I had just stepped into a completely different dynamic and nobody warned me. And the hardest part wasn't the job itself. It was everything that changed around me. So in this video, I'm breaking down the things no one tells you when you get promoted from the team. The ones that make this transition feel way harder than it should. If you've been promoted recently and something just feels off, this is probably why. Let's start with the one that got me first, because this one showed up before I had any time to get comfortable, and I had absolutely no framework for it. Nobody told you it would feel this lonely. Here's something nobody puts in the job description for manager. It is lonely. Like genuinely, surprisingly, catch you off guard lonely. And the wild part, you're surrounded by people all day. You've got back-to-back meetings, phone calls, constantly talking, and constantly being needed. And somehow, at the end of the day, you drive home feeling like you couldn't actually be honest with anyone you talk to. Here's why. You can't vent to your team because you're the manager now, and it would undermine everything. And you can't be fully open with your own boss because you're still trying to prove yourself. Plus, the people you used to debrief with after a hard day, some of them report to you now, and the rest are quietly competing with you for what comes next. So you end up somewhere in the middle, holding pressure above and holding things below, and doing this weird internal translation between the two, all day, every day. The first time this hit me was when I was about 6 weeks into the role, where 3 hard things happened back to back. And in that moment, I realized I had no one to actually talk to about it, and that I needed to do something about it instead of just trying to push through. What helped for me was finding people outside of my immediate situation, other managers at the same level, and a mentor who had already been through this chapter that I could actually lean on. You're not supposed to carry this alone. You'll go crazy if you do. And building that support system might be one of the most important things you do in your first year. The loneliness, I could name that one eventually, but this next one took me way longer to figure out because it was hiding inside something that just looked like a normal bad day. Everything you were good at stopped mattering. Let me paint you a picture. You spent years really getting good at something, like Campbell's soup kind of good. And now after getting promoted, that feeling, gone. Not because you got worse at anything, but because the thing you were good at is no longer the job. You got promoted out of your own expertise, and now you're in a brand new role where the scorecard is completely different and nobody handed you a rule book. Before my promotion, I could measure a good day pretty easily. Clear output and feedback and a clear sense of accomplishment. Now as a manager, I get to Friday having been in 9 meetings, put out 4 fires, had 2 hard conversations, and still feel like I haven't made any progress in the week. That disorientation is real. And what makes it worse is that it could look a lot like failing on the inside even when you're not. Here's the reframe that actually helped me. You didn't lose your competence. You just traded in one kind for another. Your new job isn't to do great work. It's to create the conditions for other people to do the great work now. And that takes time to be good at. So give yourself the same grace you'd give someone brand new in a role, because honestly, that's exactly where you're at right now. Before we move on to the next reason, if this is resonating with you, click like and subscribe. We talk about the real side about being a leader here, and you don't have to do this on your own. And it really helps the channel grow and get in front of others who are going through the same thing. I really appreciate your support. This next one is uncomfortable, but I'm going to say it anyways, because this is the one people feel but never say out loud, and this one personally hit me to my core. Not everyone is happy you got the job. When you get promoted from within, somebody on the team wanted what you got. Maybe they started before you, or they thought they were up next. And now you're their manager. On the surface, everything might look fine. They keep it professional, they're cooperative, and there's no major issues you can actually point to. But something just feels off. There's a slowness to their buy-in, or you feel like they're quietly undermining you behind your back. I personally made a mistake with this one early on. I went softer on those people, avoided hard conversations, and let things slide that I wouldn't have let slide with someone else. Because honestly, I was trying to get them to still like me. I know now that that was the wrong move. All it did was teach them that whatever testing they were doing actually worked. And what I should have done is hold the same standard that I would with anyone else. Same expectations, same feedback, and same accountability. You don't punish them for how they feel, but you also don't manage around it. What I learned is some people come around once they see how you lead, and some don't. And both of those outcomes you just have to make peace with. Because your job is never to win everyone over. It's to lead well enough that over time, the results speak louder than anyone's opinion about how you got the role. And underneath all of that is the thing that honestly hit me the hardest, because it was about the people I actually cared about the most. You're not one of the team anymore. The day before my promotion, I was fully part of the team. I knew everything that was going on, who was stressed, who was thriving, all the drama and all the gossip. The kind of stuff you only know because you're actually in it, not because you manage them. And then Monday came. Same people, same office, but a completely different feeling. And it showed up in small ways at first. Conversations that wrapped up when I walked over, or a joke that landed differently now that I was the boss. And here's the part that I'm a little embarrassed to admit. I kept trying to hold on to what it used to be. I kept showing up like a peer because it felt less lonely that way. And I was still trying to be one of them because I missed it. And if I'm honest, I wasn't totally sure who I was supposed to be now. And all that did was confuse everyone, including me. Here's what's actually true. Those relationships didn't disappear, but they did change shape. And yeah, you probably won't get invited to happy hour anymore, but the best thing you can do in this situation is to stop trying to force the dynamic back to what it was and start embracing the new one. So now that we've covered the heavy reasons why this transition feels so hard, let's close on the thing that actually changed how I showed up once I finally got it through my head. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be consistent. When I first got promoted, here's what I thought being a good manager looked like. Having the right answer in every meeting, staying composed in every hard moment, and never visibly struggling. I was exhausted by that version of the job before I even really got started, and I was starting to burn out. And here's what I wish someone would have told me on day one. Your team doesn't need you to be perfect. They need you to be consistent. They need to know that you're going to show up the same way on a hard Thursday as you did on a good Monday. And that when you say something, you mean it, and when you commit to something, it happens. Consistency is the whole game, not perfection and not having all the answers. Show up, follow through, tell the truth, and hold the standard. Do that the same way every week, and over time your team starts to trust you because you're reliable. And in management, reliable is the highest compliment there is. Nobody warned me about any of this, and after a long time, I genuinely thought something was wrong with me for feeling it, and I spent way too long thinking I was the only one who did. This transition is hard in ways that has nothing to do with how capable you are, and everything to do with the fact that you're rebuilding who you are in a very public environment. The fact that this is hitting you this hard means you actually care, and caring that much is the foundation everything else gets built on. If this one hit home, go watch this next video. It really adds to what we talked about today. And if you want more of the IRL side of leadership, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.